1. Mild hybrid. It's called a hybrid, but it can't actually drive on electricity alone. Here's how it works. A mild hybrid has a small electric motor and a battery, but they're only there to assist the gas engine, not replace it. Think of it like a turbo boost that kicks in when you're accelerating or helps the engine restart faster at a stoplight. The electric side never takes over completely, ever. The battery charges itself through regenerative braking, meaning every time you slow down, it's harvesting energy. Then that energy gets used to take some load off the engine. That's it. Want to get slightly better fuel economy without changing how you drive at all? You can do that with a mild hybrid. Want a car that feels smoother during stop-start traffic? You can do that. Want to say you drive a hybrid at dinner parties? Technically, you can do that too. Personal take? Mild hybrids are the participation trophy of the hybrid world. They're not bad, they genuinely improve efficiency by 10 to 15%, but if you're buying one thinking you're going green, pump the brakes. It's more of a fuel saver than an eco statement. 6 out of 10. Useful, not exciting. 2. Full hybrid. This one can actually drive on electricity by itself. Now we're talking. A full hybrid, sometimes called a self-charging hybrid, has a big enough battery and motor that it can run purely on electricity at low speeds and light loads. No plug required. The system figures out when to use gas, when to use electric, and when to blend both. You don't decide, the car decides. And honestly, it's pretty good at it. Toyota basically invented the modern version of this with the Prius back in 1997. The gas engine charges the battery, regenerative braking charges the battery, and the whole system cycles back and forth constantly. You just drive. Want to crawl through a parking lot or a school zone on zero gas? You can do that. Want to get 50+ miles per gallon in city traffic without ever plugging in? You can do that too. Want a hybrid that requires exactly zero lifestyle changes from you? This is the one. Personal take? Full hybrids are the sweet spot for people who want real efficiency without the commitment of plugging in. The Prius is boring to say, exciting to own at the gas pump. Strong 8 out of 10. Proven, practical, and it just works. 3. Plug-in hybrid. All the benefits of a hybrid, plus you can plug it in and drive on pure electric for real distances. A plug-in hybrid, PHIB for short, is basically a full hybrid with a much bigger battery, big enough that you can charge it overnight, wake up, and drive 20 to 50 miles on pure electricity before the gas engine ever touches a drop of fuel. Then, when the battery runs low, it flips back into regular hybrid mode. Best of both worlds. This is the hybrid for people who do short daily commutes, but also take road trips. You're running on electricity 90% of the time on a normal day, but you're never stranded on a highway because there's no charger nearby. Want to commute to work and back for a week without stopping at a gas station? You can do that. Want to take a 400-mile road trip with any range anxiety? You can do that. Want to cut your monthly fuel bill in half without buying a full EV? You can absolutely do that. Personal take? PHEVs are my personal recommendation for most people right now. They're the logical middle ground while charging infrastructure catches up. The only catch, if you never plug it in, you're just driving a heavier, more expensive regular hybrid. So actually plug it in. 9 out of 10 if you use it right. 4. Series hybrid. The gas engine never drives the wheels, it just makes electricity. Wild concept, right? In a series hybrid, the gas engine is completely disconnected from the wheels. It exists purely as a generator. It runs, makes electricity, that electricity powers the electric motor, and the motor drives the car. You are always 100% of the time driving on electric power. The gas engine is just there to keep the battery charged when needed. This makes the driving feel incredibly smooth and EV-like because it basically is EV-like. No gear shifts from the gas side, no mechanical complexity connecting the engine to the axle. Simple power flow. Want a hybrid driving experience that feels more like an EV than a traditional car? You can get that. Want an efficient setup for city driving where the engine runs at its optimal RPM regardless of your speed? This does that really well. Want to understand why the BMW i3 with the range extender worked the way it did? This is literally that. Personal take, series hybrids are elegant in theory. The problem is they're less efficient at highway speeds because you're double converting energy, fuel to electricity to motion, and that loses energy along the way. Great for city driving, less ideal for long highway hauls. 7 out of 10, smart design, specific use case. 5.
Parallel hybrid. Both the engine and the motor are connected to the wheels. They work side by side. In a parallel hybrid, the engine and the motor are both mechanically connected to the drivetrain. They can each drive the wheels independently, or they can work together at the same time, in parallel, hence the name. The system picks whatever combination is most efficient for the moment. Most basic hybrids you've seen in the last 20 years use some version of this setup. It's mechanically simpler than series, very efficient at highway speeds, and keeps costs down. Want a hybrid system that's been proven over millions of vehicles worldwide? This is the one. Want strong performance because you can use engine power and motor torque simultaneously? You can do that. Want a system that handles highway driving really efficiently because the engine can drive the wheels directly without converting energy? Parallel does this better than series. They're not flashy, but they get the job done. Honda used this setup for years in their Insight and Civic hybrid. It works. It's not cutting edge anymore, but works great isn't a bad reputation to have. 7.5 out of 10. Smart, practical, and it just works. 6. Series Parallel Hybrid. The best of both series and parallel combined. This is what most people mean when they say Toyota hybrid. A series parallel hybrid, also called a power split hybrid, can operate in full series mode, full parallel mode, or a blend of both, depending on what's most efficient. It uses a clever planetary gear set that splits power between the engine, motor, and wheels in real time. The computer is constantly calculating and adjusting. Toyota's hybrid synergy drive is the most famous version. It uses the Prius, it uses the RAV4 hybrid, Lexus hybrids use it. It's become the gold standard for full hybrid efficiency precisely because it's so flexible. Want to launch from a stoplight on pure electric and then seamlessly blend in the gas engine at speed without any clunky transition? You can do that. Want a system that works efficiently in city traffic and on the highway, not just one or the other? This is your answer. Want the hybrid setup that's been refined for 25 years and is borderline bulletproof? You're looking at it. 9 out of 10, the reigning champion. 7. Mild plug-in hybrid. Yes, this is a real category. No, it's not just a plug-in hybrid. Stay with me. A mild plug-in hybrid is basically a mild hybrid where the electric motor only assists the engine with a slightly larger battery that you can charge from an outlet. The difference is the electric range is very short. We're talking maybe 5 to 15 miles at low speeds, if that. It's not really designed to let you do EV commuting. It's designed to recover more energy and give a little extra assist during peak demand moments. This category is most common in European cars, where automakers get regulatory credits for having a plug, even if the actual electric capability is minimal. Some 48-volt mild hybrid systems with small plug capability fall here. It's a real thing, it's just very niche. Want to charge your car overnight and get a small but real boost in efficiency the next morning? You can do that. Want to drive through a low-emission zone at low speed and briefly run on electric to satisfy regulations? Some of these can do that. Want to feel slightly better about your fuel consumption while still mostly running on gas? Sure, this helps. Personal take, I'll be real, this category exists more for manufacturer compliance and marketing than for your benefit as a driver. If you're seeing plug-in hybrid on a car and the electric range is under 15 miles, scrutinize it hard. It might be this. Check the numbers before you buy. 5 out of 10. Proceed with skepticism. 8. Hydrogen hybrid. What if instead of a battery, you stored energy as hydrogen gas and made electricity on demand? That's this. A hydrogen hybrid, more precisely a hydrogen fuel cell hybrid, uses a fuel cell stack to convert hydrogen into electricity, and that electricity powers the electric motor. There's still a small battery buffer in the system to handle quick power demands, regenerative braking recovery, and startup. So technically it is a hybrid, just between a fuel cell and a battery, not gas and electric. You fill it up with hydrogen at a pump in about 5 minutes. The only thing that comes out of the tailpipe is water vapor. The car drives and feels completely like an EV. Toyota's Mirai and the Hyundai Nexo are the main ones you'd actually see on the road. Want to drive a zero-emission vehicle but hate the idea of long charging stops? You can do that. Want a 5-minute fill-up, 300-plus mile range? Want the smooth, quiet drive of an EV without any of the charging infrastructure headaches? Want to genuinely say your car emits only water? You can actually say that with a straight face here. Hydrogen hybrids are the most fascinating and frustrating technology on this list. The car itself is excellent. The infrastructure is the problem. Hydrogen stations are incredibly rare outside of California in a few global markets. The technology deserves better than the rollout it got. 7 out of 10 for the car, 3 out of 10 for the ecosystem. Average it out however you want. So, that's all 8.